Hello, people of the internet. So we're out here in the garage, nice and cold. I think it's a whopping 32. It's just warmer than outside, so that's, it's always a plus. Haven't figured out how to get the heat the way I want it in here yet. Don't have a plan, don't have a clue. Standard MO. Hell am I doing today? I don't know what I'm doing today. Kind of working on the Volvo, kind of piddling around. It's cold, I'm unmotivated. So yeah, let's start this one with the Volvo. There's a few projects I want to get done with the Volvo. Some of them are going to be big long-term ones, and I'm not quite sure how I'm going to end up breaking up the videos. I don't really want to go full like home built by Jeff, but at the same time, it is going to be stuff that is time consuming. It's going to take me more than just a weekend. It's going to be, take down, put in, take measurements, take specifications, do layout, and that's just to find out if what I am thinking I can make work will work. So got to bear with me a little bit. But for today, what we're messing around with, let's get the camera and move over to El Volvo. I've done a bunch of stuff off camera because, nobody wants to watch somebody fighting with seized up bolts and things like that. And I just finally got can't quite see it. I've just finally got the EGR tube freed up down there. And I'm going to do an EGR delete on this one. This is a 95. It does have EGR. To the best of my knowledge, the EGR does function and it works. Know that you get no performance gain out of deleting the EGR. But when I did the crankcase breather, I went with the Yoshi Fab setup so I could put the oil catch can in and delete the factory, CCV system, or CVV. I don't remember what it is, but the factory system, and put this in. The EGR valve would no longer bolt back in place. I think it's held on with like hopes and dreams down there, but it's not really attached very well. I don't necessarily need it. I chipped this, and I'm pretty sure I put in a chip for non-EGR. But just in case, I actually went ahead and did some resistor plugs to plug in there. Got to get some of this stuff out of the way because I want to work on some other things in this general region. But yeah, I was just focusing on getting this guy down here off and taken apart. Pretty sure I was going to have to cut that one, but a little perseverance and patience, and it came out. So yeah, let's see here. Yeah, so that's where we're at with the project. I know some people, you delete EGR valves these days, and it throws people in a tizzy. I know 100%. There are no performance gains by doing it. It is just something that I want to do for me personally to clear up some space in here. That's it. 100%. That's it. If it's not your thing, don't do it. If you don't like the way I do it, go find another way. But like I said, I'm going to put in a resistor inline, as that's usually what triggers the cell if you still have it configured. I know you can get it's handled through the EZK. I think on this one is there's a fuel computer and an ignition computer. It's handled through the ignition side, I believe, and you can buy non-EGR ones and put in. And I've also been told through the forums that you can, if you buy the right set of chips, you can put those in. That'll eliminate your CEL. The computer just won't look for it anymore. And also, you can put a resistor in, and it just sees that the sensor's there, and it doesn't care. There's no other components. Other than that, yeah. So I don't know really where. I guess I'll set up like a bolt camera or something. You guys can kind of watch me fiddle around or whatever. But yeah, that's all we're doing with this one today. I've got some other little things planned out. I've got some other projects working on. So just trying to kill time, make a video. All right. I decided not to force anybody to watch me struggle with that either. actually came out reasonably well. This I had off and loosened and stuff before when I redid the intake and all of that stuff years ago. So this part came across really well. This is the sensor that you end up needing to, or possibly needing to put a resistor in. And that's the tube off of the back of the manifold. I still got to get the adapter piece out of the manifold and then put a plug in. According to the interwebs, it should be just a 8mm thread or 18mm thread, but I haven't seen anything that specifically says, 18mm by what. So hopefully I got something. I found this piece of scrap just laying around. It's some aluminum. It's, I don't know, not quite 3/16, but it'll be good for a block off plate because it is a very reasonable size to that. So that'll be nice. This is what I did. Ignore all this stuff. I'm waiting on parts to come in. Don't order stuff around like the Christmas holiday and whatnot. It just gets lost in limbo. And specifically, it looks like Columbus, Ohio USPS depot. Man, you guys, I don't know what the hell goes on over there, but you are like a black hole that sucks stuff in and just leaves it out. Anyway, so ordered a set of ends because you do need these ends, and I had a bunch of resistors. So from what I could find on the internets, these are these are 1/4 watt. And the first couple of things I found said that you needed a 1/4 watt 51k ohm resistor. So another article I found said that the 51k ohm resistor didn't work and you need a 2.2k ohm resistor. So I made those up. And then I decided to and I guess I ought to take my meter out. But then I decided, after reading a little bit more, you're looking for the resistance of this sensor. So, disconnected the sensor, hooked my meter up between the two leads, and it gave me something like 300, right around, the closest I had was a 1/4 watt 300k ohm, but it gave me something like 301 or 308 kilo ohms. So I don't know. I'm going to try these two first, and then I'll try that one last. But those are the adapters, and these were actually just some, where did I got these on Amazon in like an 8-pack. Oh, they're LS swap stuff. It's EV1 to, I don't know, it's EV1 to one of the myriad of other injector options you have for LS swaps, but that's what it was. It was like $10 for a pack of 8. They come pre-wired and you get the other set of ends on them. Pretty cool, nice. I enjoyed it. I liked it. I thought it was pretty handy. So I had to knock out a block off plate. I'm gonna there's one more plate that was attached to the block where all your crankcase stuff goes. I'm going to take that plate off because it's no longer needed at all. I'm going to take a few other things out while I'm in there because I'm doing a bunch of work in that general area of the engine bay. So hopefully when we come back, we will be installing some stuff and testing some things. And we're back. Man, sorry about that. So doing a lot of this off camera because it's mostly just me fishing around in there, getting bolts and stuff out. I didn't take the intake off, so you're not going to be able to really see what I'm doing. But we'll go over the pieces and we'll walk back over to the car and talk about it. That way, if you're trying to do this for repair or whatever, you at least have some idea what's going on. So let me flip it around. All right. So haven't started working on the plate yet, but we've got all these pieces off. So this piece, obviously, is your tube from the EGR up to the intake manifold. This is your exhaust manifold to EGR crossover pipe. This is your EGR valve. This is your exhaust temperature. Well, I don't think it's actually an exhaust temperature sensor. I don't really know what this measures exactly. but we're just going to call it the EGR sensor. It's the EGR sensor. This one, I don't know if you can see, but the valve I had laying like this. And yeah, it leaked out some goop. It was rather thick and oily, and I'm hoping it's not the new turbo that's on there. It's from the old turbo. But we'll see. And then there's this plate as well, which I believe originally these two get stacked up like this. And then this guy holds part of the wire loom that runs between the starter motor and the block. I just went ahead and took all of that off. I'm not using it. Again, those are my bypass resistor wire sensor thingy doober. I don't know what you want to call it. So then over on the car, we're still going to take the vacuum solenoid for the EGR valve off, and obviously it's disconnected from the EGR valve. This is where it tees into, so this will get just a standard, I don't know, I might replace the whole line, but probably I'll just put a inline coupler in there. And I don't know, I don't think you can, I'm not going to be able to get the camera down there, I don't think. There's fuel lines and everything else, and you can see those two stainless steel button head cap screws is where everything goes on originally. That's my Yoshi Fab adapter plate. Maybe you guys can tell me if is it leaking? Can you tell? I don't know, I can't tell. Back out. Let's see here. We've got, your IAC motor. Now your sensor originally plugs in. There's a little clip right there. Again, too many hoses, but that's where the actual sensor goes. And this wire here, clip on back there. So that's where my resistor pack is going to be put. I think though, while I'm in here, I'm going to take, I was thinking about taking the support off and putting in, making it out of aluminum, but I don't know. That might be a little too much. Now, I'm back around. So, damn. Learn how to hold a camera? Oh, Jesus. So what the forums were talking about doing is they don't give any real specifics. Damn, that light is just going to suck. They don't give any real specifics on what or how. So I'm just going to try one-handed to drop my fluke meter and break it. So that's what you do with high-quality DVOMs, is you drop them all over the place and break them. Let's see here. We will set this to resistance, which is always futile. If I was smart, I'd have set up a tripod, but I are not smart. Okay, and you do basically want to get across here, which one-handed is going to prove to be ultra fun. And, well, it's actually reading more than it was the first time. Yeah, okay. So, that's what they say. I don't know. I'm going to go with the tried and true 51K. And then if that doesn't work, I'll try the 2.2. Like I say, it's not hard to get to. Worst comes to worst, it's just going to kick on the check engine light. So, got a lot of other stuff going on too. Oh, something I have not taken out yet that I guess I need to take out is back here in the back of the manifold. So that's where the crossover tube screws in, but that actually is a bushing. It screws into the manifold, so you want to take that out and then screw your plug directly into the manifold. I have heard that a JIC, I think a number 8 cap fits that. If I don't have something that will screw in the manifold, I guess we'll be figuring that one out. All right, and sensor's pulled. The T is taken out and capped with new zip ties. I know everybody hates the fact that I run zip ties on vacuum lines. I something, I don't know. I picked it up 30 years ago and I'm still doing it. It gets the job done. If you don't want to, don't do it. Still got to reconnect the oil catch can. Redo the IAC, but I had to decide if I want to redo that or not. I'm really thinking about getting STS's chassis brace, but I need to replace these engine mounts soon. Or no, let me rephrase that. I want to replace these engine mounts soon because I just don't trust 30-year-old hydraulic engine mounts. Got a plug in the manifold. I guess I can go ahead and put the spark plug wire back on. And remember, folks, when you're doing stuff like that in the manifold and you're watching me fumble around and try to get a spark plug wire on, like I've never done this in my life, make sure that you use good high temp anti-seize. You know, I used 2000 degree copper stuff. Just use good high temp anti-seize whenever you're working with exhaust pieces. But yeah, so everything's out. Still got to make the block off plate, get that in. Wow, that light is. And so yeah, do that, come back, have some stuff put together. Maybe I'll be able to test run it and see if the resistor works. Because the resistor worked. Now I won't be able to test run it because I got other stuff going on. Don't start like 3 projects on one vehicle at the same time, because then you can't test things properly. We'll be back. All right, and we're wrapped up. Went ahead and made up a little, yeah, well, my glove's in focus. I took that piece of aluminum and trimmed it up to match the stainless steel flange and got it on there. Used a little, you know, form a gasket on there. Thought about reusing the old gasket, and I just didn't feel like doing that because sometimes they seal, sometimes they don't. And I didn't feel like digging my stuff out to either look for one or to make one. Just a quick recap, I guess, on some of this stuff in case you were doing this. Oh, and I put everything away. Okay, hold on. Camera flip. See? Jumped the gun. Cleaned up. In case you need to know, all of the tubing nuts and the adapter fitting that screws into the manifold for you to put the tube onto, they're all 22 millimeter. The rest of them, I believe, are 8 millimeter thread. But I don't remember right off the top of my head if the ones in the block are 8 millimeter thread or 6 millimeter thread. The ones in the intake manifold are 6 millimeter thread. The ones in the block might be 6 mil too. Whatever. Pay attention. Figure it out on your own. And like I said, the nuts. So you need a 22 millimeter wrench to go on the nut. Pretty straightforward. I'll do an update on what resistor, if any resistor, worked, if I needed it. Because like I said, I can't remember if I bought a set of chips that was already delete or not. And I am kind of glad that I deleted it, just because I don't know why it was filled full of oil, or oil-like thick liquidy goo substance. I took the intake charge pipe off, and it's got a faint residue, but it doesn't have enough in it for that. So it was probably my old turbo and not my new turbo. Either way, that is just going to wrap up the EGR removal setup. Say this is for informational purposes only. Off-road use. Do not break any laws. I do not advocate you breaking any laws. I think that covers my ass. Yeah, and we'll pick up and do something else next. Probably also emissions related, and probably also slightly sketchy. So everybody get out, have fun, and go do something you like.